What's up, everybody? I would like to welcome you to my very first YouTube podcast. My name is Marcus Diaz. Basically, the idea behind this channel for me is that I grew up in a very soccer heavy family. For me to be able to sit here and talk about current news, transfers, current results, day-to-day things. I'll be meeting with some of my family members, some of my friends. We're going to talk about who they support and why they support, how long they've supported them, things like that. So I'm just looking very much forward to being able to share my passion for soccer with you guys. Okay, so a little bit about me. I'm born and raised in San Diego, California, and just recently moved out here to Ann Arbor, Michigan. So looking to just get into this thing and make it work out for me, because I'm really excited. I've always wanted to do something like this, and I'm very passionate about it. As you can see by the two jerseys hung up right here, I'm a ride or die Man United fan. Most of my family, I have two of my brothers and my dad are Man United, but the rest of the 20 people in my family are Liverpool fans. So, those game days get real hectic, and they're very fun to just get together and have a blast with everyone together. So my channel is mostly going to be focused on the Premier League, just because that's a league I follow the most. But I will be talking about news in other leagues such as La Liga, Bundesliga, Serie A, things like that, MLS, Mexican League, things that catch my interest I will be talking about, but this main focus of this channel is going to be towards the Premier League. So the first thing I'm going to talk about, actually, now that I've said I'm focused on the Premier League, we're going to go ahead and move to La Liga and talk about, people want to know what is going on with Barcelona. So for me, I personally, Lionel Messi is probably my favorite player of all time. I do think he is the greatest player of all time. Yes. So to answer that, basically, and for some of you who don't pay attention to La Liga as much, if you don't know what's going on out there, Barcelona was actually in first place. They've been struggling the last couple of weeks since the return from lockdown, and Real Madrid has overtaken the top spot, and I believe they're about 4 points clear now. So Barcelona, basically, the fans have a history of not being, I guess, not liking the president because of decisions he makes with transfers and certain things like that, the way he spends money. So just to catch you guys up on that, that's basically what's going on over in Barcelona right now. So I think it's the problem where it's starting from the top. You have the president who just doesn't seem to know what he's doing with the team. If you look at Barcelona's top players currently, they are all above 30 years old, and that just seems like there's going to be a huge decline in, not talent, because obviously it's Barcelona, they'll always have talent, they'll always be able to bring in high profile players because they are a huge club, but I think it's going to have them be on a little bit of a struggle bus for a few years, especially with, I'm not sure how long Messi is going to play for much longer, but if you look at guys like Piqué, Busquets, Jordi Alba, they just brought in Pjanic with a trade with Arthur, which I feel is a horrible trade in the beginning. So Pjanic is 30 years old, and that's not somebody they need. Arthur was a good young midfielder that they had to play in there with Frankie de Jong for a long time coming, and I think that was a huge mistake by Barcelona. So that is definitely how I feel and how I see Barcelona going. I think they are going to struggle for the next few years in La Liga, and definitely in Champions League. So this next question is, it says, hot take, Bruno Fernandes is a current top 3 player in Europe. And again, for those who don't know who Bruno Fernandes is, which I would assume that most of you guys do if you're watching a Soccer Talk channel, but if not, Bruno Fernandes is Man United's newest signing. We got him from Sporting Lisbon in Portugal, and I think he's been on our radar for a while. And he's come in and he's made an absolute difference. So, totally unbiased. Obviously, it's hard with the jerseys behind me to prove my unbiasedness, but I truly believe that if you're taking current form, Bruno Fernandes is probably, I would say, a top 3 to 5 player in Europe currently. Man United have been on a huge incline since we signed him. He's been just very good. He's made a lot of changes, especially coming after the lockdown, getting in there with Pogba and Matic, and that little midfield three is just working for us right now. Man United have not lost. They have not lost a game since Bruno Fernandes joined the team. We're 15 unbeaten with 11 clean sheets. So I wouldn't say he's probably the best Premier League signing in the last few years, but he's definitely Man United's best signing within the last 5 years. Other than, I mean, Pogba we thought was going to be huge, but obviously he didn't turn out to work out as well. But I have another opinion on that, which will be talked about in another episode, or maybe even a later question in this episode. So the next question was just asking my opinions on the transfers that are going on, or the transfer rumors going around the Premier League right now. And I think if you look right now, obviously the team winning in the transfer market is Chelsea. They got Ziyech from Ajax, and they've also just picked up Timo Werner from RB Leipzig for, I believe it was like $54 million, which is an absolute steal if you look at the form that he's been in this season. I think he has 30 plus goals in the Bundesliga, so I mean easily one of the best pickups. And even Chelsea are picking up their form right now, so adding two players of that quality could definitely help them work their way towards a title chase next season. Definitely with the squad they got, and it seems Frank Lampard, who is their head coach, has them just in a good run of form right now, and they're playing really, really well. So definitely adding those two players is going to help them next season through all the difficult cups, league, and Champions League or Europa League, wherever they finish off. And also, we're looking at transfer news with Man United, or transfer rumors, you could say, is Jadon Sancho leaving Borussia Dortmund to come to Man United. Right now, not looking the most likely, because Man United have come out and said that they are not willing to pay more than 50 million euros for him, and Dortmund their asking price is 100 million. And I definitely feel that that's kind of lowballing Dortmund from Man United, asking for 50 million as a buying price, because Sancho is definitely another like worldly talent. He's young, he's coming up, he's very, very, very good, and he's going to be good for a long time. So I think if somehow they can meet in the middle and Man United can pull that off, then that would be awesome. Another transfer that Man United is looking to get that seems more and more likely to happen every day is Donny van de Beek from Ajax. He will be making his way to Old Trafford next season. Adding him in there with Pogba and Bruno should be a huge asset, and his play style works out great for Pogba and Bruno. In my opinion, I think that's going to benefit Pogba a lot more, because Pogba if you watch him during the games, it seems like he does not like to work that hard, but if he has Bruno who works his ass off, and he has Van de Beek who also works his ass off, it's definitely a benefit for Pogba, so that he could just kind of hold back, find space, and facilitate and do what he does best. He pings his long balls, he finds good passes, he gets involved in the game. So as long as he can do that, then I think that's a great pickup for Man United. And I think their asking price is about 49 million, but I think with all the financial worries going on, Man United are looking to pay around 38 million for him. So my last question, this will be my last one for this episode, is they wanted me to talk about the fall off of Man United. And obviously for me this is very personal, and I was born in 1993, so the Premier League started, I think the first season of the Premier League was 92-93, so since then, Man United, in the first 26 years of the Premier League, won 13 titles, and that was all with Sir Alex Ferguson, which I truly believe is the greatest coach of all time, and that is completely unbiased. I would think everybody who knows soccer well enough would say that he is probably the greatest coach of all time. 50% of the seasons he coached in, he won the Premier League title. So that in itself, countless trophies with Man United throughout his career. I think the fall off began with his departure once he retired. It's hard to replace someone that does so well for so long, and it's hard to find the right person to bring in to continue that that tradition. So I believe we've had, I think Ollie is our, what we had, Moyes, Giggs, Van Gaal, Mourinho, Ollie, I believe. So I think Ollie's our fifth manager since Sir Alex, and that's within fifth manager in about 7 years. I think Sir Alex Ferguson's last season was 2012, 2013, which was actually our last league title as well. So yeah, I think it just like I said earlier, it starts from the top, and it starts with your coach. If you have a coach that they kind of came in and they wanted to change the Man United way. They didn't want to. Fergie had his way of playing, which was just all out, go for it, win games no matter what, any way you can. And I think things got worse when Mourinho came into the picture. Granted, Mourinho is a very, very good coach. I don't think he's a good coach for Man United. So I think he came in, he kind of, I would say, I mean, obviously first year we did great. I think we won the Europa League that year. But I'm not sure if we had any other trophies. But anyways, we won the Europa League. He came in. We had success. But I feel the culture that he brought within the locker room and for the fans and things like that, it just wasn't something that you typically associate with Manchester United as a club and as an association. So just moving on. I mean, you bring Ollie back, right? And Ollie's, obviously, he's a Man United legend. He scores the winner in the 99 treble season, Champions League against Bayern, like very last kick of the game. And so you bring him back. Obviously, the fans are going to be a little bit up. Even myself, I was very excited. He came out and he said, I want to go after teams. I want to score goals. I want to do all this kind of stuff. I want to high press. So obviously, yes, it started off well. I think we had 11 or 12 games unbeaten. We won 9 away games in a row, and it came off to a good start. But again, you got to bring the spirit back. You got to bring the spirit back, and I think when you get players like we've got now, and you can definitely see that there's more happiness within the fans, within the club. It makes you, as a fan of the team, it just makes you a lot happier to watch games. You actually want to sit down and watch the games. You don't want to browse and maybe think they're gonna lose, or this is gonna be a close game. We're losing games that we should be winning. We're tying games that we were probably ahead up 2-0. Now it's 2-2. It's just little things like that make you want to think oh man, I don't want to watch my team anymore. It's hard to watch my team. So yeah, I think, like I said, it's just going back to the fall off. I think it definitely came from Sir Alex's departure and retirement from the club, and I think slowly, it's just taken a lot of work from the players, the staff, the fans, just to try and work Man United up and get it back to where it was in early 2000s, maybe even I would say 90s through the 2000s. Just getting us back to where Man United really is one of the biggest clubs in the world. Yeah, so that's wrapping up today's episode. I would like to thank you guys for listening and sitting through it. If you did enjoy this, I would love it if you guys could just like the video, subscribe, follow me on all my social medias. I have a Twitter and an Instagram. I'll put them right here when the video is over. So yeah, thank you guys.